You're live.
You're live. Okay.
It's working.
What? Okay.
All right, guys. I think we got it going. Can you hear me? Put in the comments if you can hear me on here. Okay, we got a yes. All right, good. I think we're up. Hey, thank you guys so much for hanging with us. Really sorry it took so long. All right, we're gonna get back to the camera here. All right, Natalie, keep letting them know. Hey guys, thanks so much for hanging with us. I'm so sorry for all the trouble. We kept trying to start it. It just would say, we're not starting. Can you still hear me? Please let me know if you can hear me. I'm on a different camera here. Just drop it in the comments if you can hear. I had this whole thing planned where I was going to be like, hey, as people are coming in, but it looks like everybody's probably already here. So again, thank you guys so much. All right, first, before we get started, I said this was going to run for like a half hour or so. I was going to do a quick little tour, but I thought I would just go ahead and introduce everyone. All right, so let's have my wife, Tina, come in. I know you guys don't get to see her that much, but this is Tina. She's excited to meet you guys all, and she loves meeting you when we, get together at, shows and all that stuff. Thanks, babes. And then Jenna, come over here. She's my first oldest. This is Jenna. She is one of the big workers here in the shop. And so we'll tell you what she does here in a little bit. Natalie, she is over at the desk. She's going to be fielding any questions that you guys might have. So I'll get to that in just a second. All right, Luke, come on over. Luke, here. You guys all know Luke, right?
Yeah, right.
There he is. He's glad to be here. These guys were so excited about this live stream tonight. So glad you guys hung out with us and just hung out for a few minutes. Here comes Nathan. Check it out. This guy. Right? There's Nathan. Say hi.
Hi.
Okay. He's glad to be here too. Lojo, come on over.
Now you all know me.
You all know her, right? All right. She's going to tell you what she does here too. She's got a big job. All right. JJ, come on over. Come on. He's ready. Here he is. You say hi?
Hi.
Hi. Good job. Very good. All right. All right. Well, again, thanks, guys, for putting up with the technical difficulties. All right. So I thought the first thing that I would do while we're all hanging out, how's everybody doing so far? Nat? Good. Can they all hear it?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Wanted to make sure. We had this all tested. Just believe me, right? It's like I could get in here, no problem. But I thought I would give a quick overview of the history of InstyConnect, right? So you guys all know, most of the people in here know, like how we got started and everything. This is a picture of me up on the mountain, right? We were at a spot that was really cool, couldn't get any internet, had to go up on the mountain. Natalie, can I see the mouse? And then, so we went up on this mountain to find internet, right? But what you guys don't know, there's a few things I haven't shared before, and so I thought I would just share them really quick. All right, while I was up on this mountain, so I set this thing up, and it looks like this, right? So this was the device. This was a cellular part. This was the part that beamed it down to our camper, right? And this is what we had on the camper at the time. So this was our internet device. This is the one that I made a YouTube video about like years ago. So you can see it kind of looks like what we have right now, but this is the other end, right? So if you picture this up at the top and it's beaming it down, okay? So this was where the whole idea came from. But to be honest, while I was up there thinking, what I really wanted, and what I haven't told anybody before, was I really wanted to hook it up and have the Angel Wings be wireless from the Wi-Fi, right? So this was going to be my secret thing. But what happened was when we actually started putting this together, found out that there was a cell signal pretty much everywhere. So that's what this little thing is, right? So I learned a whole bunch of stuff while I did this, got all these cool little tools and everything, found out that there's like pretty much a cell signal everywhere you go. And so we started putting this thing together, and this is why it's called the Angel Wings, right? Because it was white at first, but it's black because it just stands up to like weather and everything better. Anyway, so when we hit the road, the boys and I, we went out there and we found out that, yeah, there's pretty much a signal pretty much everywhere. And so we just had to put this thing together and make it work, and we did. And, the boys and I, we had a lot of fun on these trips. That's us. That's us hooking up some internet devices and everything. But the problem is when Tina's not around, gets to be some trouble. This is that same trip when we're out there, right? And I never put this on a video or anything. I turn around. I'm supposed to be cooking dinner. I turn around and the whole place is filled up with smoke. And I forgot that I put a pizza in, right? You know why? Because right here, check this out right there. See that Nilla wafers? So it's about 6 o'clock here. And the boys and I were snacking all day long. I put in a pizza. I forgot all about it. Pretty much smoked up the whole place. And this is what it looked like, right? When we tried to eat it. So we had a lot of fun on these trips, learned a whole bunch, learned that the InstyConnect actually would be pretty cool if it was just the way that we made it. And so that's essentially where it's at today. Here you go, Nat. Thanks so much. So I don't know. I thought I'd share that little tidbit. That was going to be like for when people were joining the live stream, but now you guys are all here. So again, thank you guys for putting up with us on that. So now I think we'll just do a quick tour. The whole layout that I was thinking about for tonight was we'll just do a quick tour while you guys are on. If you have any questions, send them over to Natalie. She's going to like try to put them together, and then we'll go through the questions and see if we can answer any you got. If you have some that are like simple that has to do with some of the stuff that you see on the tour, just let her know and she'll like kind of flag me down and answer or ask the question. And then if I know there's some people on here that might want to ask some pretty techie stuff, which I'm totally cool with, by the way. So I thought maybe we'd leave those till the end so that some people who weren't like excited about the techie stuff could just maybe go off or something. But anyway, we were going to run this for like a half hour or maybe a little bit longer or whatever. So we'll just dive right in it. All right. So this right here, where everybody's standing, that's my desk. That's basically where all like the designing and stuff goes, just right there. And so not too interesting there. But right here, this is the first station. This is where like Jenna hangs out. And so she's here right now. And this is like when we get orders and stuff, it comes to her. She'll like print them out. They'll come out like right up here on little labels and everything. And we take it and we try to fill the orders. Now, there was one thing I wanted to mention that we had a Black Friday sale last week and we filled just tons of orders and everything. It was really cool. There were some people that did not get in on that Black Friday thing. So they said, hey, can we get that special again? So what I thought I would do is during the live stream and you know, tonight and tomorrow, run the Black Friday deals again. So if you were thinking about getting an Insty Connect and maybe you missed out the Black Friday or something, if you go to our website now, we updated it so the Black Friday sales are on. And if you're thinking like, hey, maybe I want to purchase one tonight, you can do that. And if they happen to come in, we can print one off. And if you're in like the order, just say, hey, I'm watching the live stream, want to do a shout out or something. We'll shout out to you. We'll say hi. We'll say thank you and everything. And it'll print out right there. All right. So this is Jenna's desk. We're going to head this way, right? Again, if you have any questions, just drop them to Nat. How's it going, Nat, so far? Good. All right. All right, so here's the next station in our tour. Now, you'll notice, if you noticed about Jenna's setup, they're all on these racks, right? I find these racks at like Costco, and I'll tell you all about those racks. That was something that I just figured out like when we were cleaning up the place. But anyway, this spot right here is another place where Jenna works. But we have these computers, and you'll notice, if you look at these computers, that we have all Macs in the office. Now, it's not that I'm a Mac fanboy or anything, because I worked in IT, right? So I loved PCs. But the reason why I had a job in IT is because those computers would like break a lot. So when I was doing this, I thought I want a computer that's pretty solid, that's going to work for a long time. And if you notice, these computers are kind of old, but they work really well. But they have a techie function too. The reason why I like these is because they're like a Linux based and they have PHP. So if you don't know what that is, that's all right. It's just a programming language that helps us put our software on. Anyway, here at this station, we take the routers, and there's a router right here. And when we get the routers, when they come to us from China, they don't have our firmware on it. We wanted to have like full control over the firmware that we put on it. Basically, because I want to make sure whatever router we put out has like the latest firmware, has all the bugs squashed and all of that stuff. And at the very same time, we can test it to make sure it works. So in these stations, she just hooks up the router, and we wrote software that essentially dumps the firmware right onto the router and tests it at the very same time. So it takes care of like in one shot. So we try to put like a bunch of stuff together to try to make it super easy to like get these things out the door. All right. Next stop on the tour, over here at the 3D printers. Now, these 3D printers are pretty cool. We've actually gone through, this is like our third type of 3D printer that we got. These are ones that you can get on Amazon and everything. They're really nice. They're basically stock, but the only thing that's different about them, getting into the little techie stuff, is like the bed that we print on. So if you don't know what a 3D printer is, all it does is it takes this roll of filament and it turns it into a part, okay? And it does this over a period of time. Lojo, can you hand me that one right there? Yeah, that one right there, the whole thing. So like this is the cloud wings that we build, right? This whole part takes about 12 hours. So it just goes and it prints and it ends up looking like this. And Lojo has a job out here. You want to tell him what it is?
Yes.
All right, here she is. Come over here.
So my job is to make sure all the printers are finished, or to tell Dad that there is not a printer finished or there's a printer finished. And I would like you to tell my favorite one of names and the rest that you can.
Your favorite? Oh, the names. Okay, all right. So just to let you know, each one of these printers has a name, and she likes the names. You figure out which one is the best, and you let us know, okay? I'll let you know in just a second. So she comes in here, and she'll like check throughout the day and let me know if there's one that's like done or if there's one that's like crashed or something like that. She really loves her job. She likes doing it. She does a really good job. So the only probably difference between what we have here and what like normal people essentially do is the filament that we order. So if you guys have ever 3D printed before, this is like a standard roll of filament, and we actually custom order these large rolls of filament because one of these cloud wings takes almost one roll of filament right here. So we want to be able to print more than just one, so we have a large roll like that. So I'm actually teaching Luke how to come in here, switch these things out, switch out the filament and everything, and he's doing a pretty good job so far. All right, so we have about 16 of these things running right now.
Okay, so I will say the names of each printer.
We could just say the one that you like the most, okay? Because 16 names is what might take a little while. All right, which one do you like the most?
Names, just these names.
All right, so these down here, and before we actually had them upstairs, like half of them were upstairs, half of them were downstairs. But we moved them down here because we wanted to control the humidity. When you're printing stuff, it needs to be super dry. So in Tennessee, it tends to get a little humid. So we got to have these like in one spot and keep a dehumidifier on them to keep them pretty dry. All right. All right. Which one's your favorite one?
Okay. So this is my favorite one.
That one's called Asteroid.
Name is Asteroid. This is Quaddy, my second favorite. And this is... Oh, I gotcha.
All right. She loves to hang out on camera. If you can't tell, right? She's in a lot of the videos, and she loves being there. All right. So right here is just a rack that we have of like 3D printer parts. We actually have to swap out parts quite often because we run these things so much. So we keep quite a bit of parts up there. And then we got those giant rolls of filament right there. And right now we don't have any of them running because they're kind of loud when they're running. So we wanted to keep things kind of quiet. This right here is like the stuff that we print that hasn't been assembled yet. So we'll print them, put them on this rack. You can see here that this one's empty, has a couple little things in it. So we'll put it here, and then we know that this stuff needs to be worked on. So the girls will come and work on it, and then once they do, they'll bring it over here. And this one is like a completed one. You can see it has the antennas are in there, and it's just waiting for a modem, ready to go. All right. Again, if you have any questions, drop them over there. They'll let me know. How's it going over there, Nat? How's it going? Good? Okay. All right. So over here is our shipping department. So we have all of like the routers, and back there we have the wings that are ready to go, boxes and all that stuff, and pretty much just lay it out. We got our little bubble printer back there that prints the little bubble stuff you put in the boxes. It's pretty fun. Before this, we've never done any shipping at all, right? So I owned a hosting company, so everything we did was like e-commerce type of stuff. This is the first time we've ever shipped things out. So it was a big learning curve for us, but it was a lot of fun learning at the very same time. This is the shipping kind of module, I guess you could say. Again, another Mac. And what happens here is I try to write like software to make it all easy. So like if the girls are out there and they're scanning or something and we don't lose stuff and all of that. So what I did was when we get an order and like one of these print out, there's a tracking number on it and everything gets hooked up by the tracking number. So when it comes here, when we get it all packed, we just scan it. And then the computer will tell us what was in the order. And then the girls can take it, check it out, make sure that it was all good. And if it was good, you just click on yes right there. Boom, and it sends an email. So if you guys have ever ordered something from us and you got an email that says your shipment's on the way, that's right here. When they scan it, email gets sent out and gets sent out to you. All right. So I mentioned that these racks that we had were kind of special. Later this year, when we came home this summer, we actually had our shipping department at a friend's place and they were shipping for us. And we really, really appreciated that too while we were on the road. But what I learned is that when we can set things up on like these racks, I can like move these things around and be able to like modularize the shop. So like the InstyConnect's modular, right? So I wanted to try to do that same thing in here. So every single rack that we have in here is all on wheels. It can all be moved. And if you, hey, Nat, go over to the Canon real quick. So if you could see all of this stuff in here, right, we're actually growing this shop pretty well, and it's actually filling up pretty well. Can't hear me? Oh, it froze. All right, go back to the Sonya. All right, can you still hear me now? That one froze. Good? All right, so I think, let me know if you could still hear me, all right? So, sorry for the technical difficulties. Okay, so anyway, basically we put these things on racks so we can roll them around and we can expand the shop if we need to. We want to get to a point where we're selling a whole bunch of these. One of my dreams, I guess you could say, when I started InstyConnect was when I'm driving down the highway or something and I see like InstyConnects on RVs driving by. I thought that'd be really cool to see. So anyway, that was a quick tour of the shop. Let's see.
Mommy, you should go out.
All right, so JJ's getting ready for bed. You guys want to say goodnight to him?
Good night. Good night. I'm not.
He wants to stay. All right, so that's a quick tour of the shop. Do we have any questions from those guys?
Yes.
Okay, all right, go ahead. All right, we're going to do some questions real fast.
Okay. First question. David W. Has it changed since the last tour?
Has it changed since the last tour? Yes. So when we came home, we had stuff kind of scattered all around, and I wanted to clean it up. I wanted to organize it. We had like a lot of the stuff that I bought for like testing was kind of all over the place, and so we just basically cleaned the place up and said we're gonna get this thing organized so we could be more productive. That was one of the biggest changes. That's where all the racks essentially came from too. All right, Nat, what's next?
David S. Is there a way to get better 5G upload speeds? T-Mobile and Verizon somehow with InstyConnect.
Is there a way to get better upload speeds? So upload speeds are very much controlled by the antenna, all right? So as long as your wings are outside, you'll have the best chance of getting the better upload. A lot of times, the upload is capped by the providers, so you can't really reach higher than they'll let you get, right? So that's one of the things, especially T-Mobile. What I found is they really have set up their network to allow for big download, but not as big upload. Don't really know why, but that's really what I found kind of all over the place. All right, what's next?
Gary H. What is the latest firmware update?
What's the latest? That's a great question. So we're going to talk about that too. So one of the things that we did over the summer was we were working on an update for like a Starlink integration. And so we put together a firmware update, and it's a huge update. It has a lot of things in it, and I want to go into that in a little bit. But one of the things that we were working on is multi-internet integration. So like Starlink, or if other people had like a cable modem or something that they would want to link in with the cellular, and we needed to have like failover and balancing and all of that stuff. So we put out an update. It's actually in the system right now. So if you go and click on software update, it'll update. It'll be a flash update, so you're gonna have to reset it up and everything, but it's gonna have the latest, and it has probably the date of the 28th on it for November for like the final update. But it's a big one, right? But we'll get into that in just a little bit. All right, so they're gonna field me some more questions, and I'll start. How long have we been going? Thank you guys.
20 minutes.
By the way, thank you guys. All right. 20 minutes so far. All right. So there were part of the, yes.
What is the purpose of the dual SIM card configuration in the modem?
What's the purpose of the dual SIM card? All right, that's a good question. So in the modem, there are 2 SIMs inside there, right? So the purpose of that is to be able to load 2 SIMs in at once and to be able to switch it, okay? So one of the things that we have in the new firmware is that if you have 2 SIMs loaded, the system can automatically recognize if you lose service on one of the SIMs and switch over to the other one. So I know this is one that people have asked me for in the past, and we're putting it in kind of small incremental little updates. And so this one that we had, we actually turned it on. So now there's a little switch there that says, if you want to switch the SIMs, the system will do it automatically if you lose service. Now, some people have asked, does that mean if I get somewhere and one is faster than the other? The only thing that the system knows is whether or not you have service, okay? So it won't switch it automatically based on the speed. We still leave that up to you, all right? Any others?
Can you get the later 5G antenna since I have the first gen 5G?
If you have, yeah, so if you have like the first gen 5G and you have like the older antenna, send us a message. We did a kind of a exchange program on that. And so send us a message in the support desk. If you go to InstyConnect.com, help, contact us. That's the best place to reach us. Just let us know and use the email that you used when you ordered, and then we can look you up and everything and make sure we have your address and all that. Okay. Look at these guys. They love this.
Hey, welcome. Oh my deal.
94?
Yes.
Thank you guys. That's awesome. All right, questions. What do we got?
I have a 4G system and a 4G binoculars that I purchased recently. What is the cost to upgrade both to 5G?
Okay, so someone's asking about the 4G. What does it cost to upgrade? Head over to the website, send us a message. It's roughly the same amount of the difference. Okay, so like the 4G was right around $500, 5G is right around $1,000. It's that difference, right? So just send us a message and we'll give you the info on that. We have like an exchange program on that as well. Okay, so let us know. Help InstyConnect, help, contact us. Okay. All right. So one of the things that we've been working on is trying to get plans. And we had an AT&T plan and we had a T-Mobile plan. We have thus sold out of both of those. Yes, Natalie, go ahead.
How do I set up T-Mobile SIM so it's not recognized as a hotspot?
Ooh,
by T-Mobile?
We'll have to answer. We'll have to talk about that a little bit later.
Okay, I got that. What update did the switching come in?
What update did the switching? It was the last one, right? So the one that's out there right now, if you have an InstyConnect, if you go to the automated updates and you click on that, it'll bring a flash firmware. And when you do the flash firmware, you have to reset the system up. So it clears it all out, puts a new firmware on, and then you run through the setup process. This new firmware actually makes it super easy to set up too, because we automatically select what SIM you have. So we read your SIM, try to figure out what it is, and then set it up for you. So it's pretty easy. They're looking for more questions.
Can both SIMs be used at the same time, or are plans to do so?
Yeah, that's a good question. All right. Should we get into like the what's going on? I think we should.
Maybe,
I think
maybe
people
you
are-
should come over here.
I think people are asking. All right, let me switch to the webcam if you would, and Nat, let me jump in there on there. All right.
See y'all.
Okay. All right, let me know if you guys can hear me, okay? Right over here. Derek, good to see you, man. How's everything going? You mentioned yes. So, okay, you can hear me good. That's good. All right. So, someone said you mentioned that you'll make a video for the binoculars. Yes, we actually made that in Mesa Verde, and we used that to find a pretty decent signal there in the national park too. So that is like on my next thing on the list for the Insty Connect channel. And so basically, the easy way: turn it and wait 2 minutes, run a speed test. That's the easy way. But then I have a more in-depth way that I'll share with you guys via video. All right. And all right, Tim McCabe says, are you working on having 2 sims at the same time? All right, I want to show you guys something. If I could find my mouse. And I want to say I'm really sorry for all the technical difficulties, right? I had this thing so practiced and I had it all ready. And then I hit the little button that says get on YouTube Live for your scheduled thing. And it says it was not available at the time. And so I was like, what? But all right, hold on a second. All right, I'm just pulling this over. All right. Okay, so Tim, can we get the documentation for Starlink integration? Yes, so that's all coming up, right? So what we had to do was we had to roll out the update, and all of this stuff that I'm going to show you guys is in beta right now, okay? So this is beta type stuff, but I want to just let you know what is that. So Tim says, are you working on getting dual modem set up? All right, so one of the big things that we added here this summer was I wanted the ability to do like Starlink and the modem. But then while we were doing that, I said, why not just do modem and modem, Starlink modem and modem, and you know, all the way up. So to have like 4 devices to do internet in. So what you're seeing right now is our system that we have hooked up. This is one of our test systems, but it's running the latest firmware. It's got the 5G T-Mobile at the top, and it's got AT&T at the bottom. We actually have the USB split, and then we have 2 setups going on at one time. So the only way that you can use 2 providers at once is if you have 2 modems at once. But because we built this in a modular fashion, we can just add one on and then light up another modem. So what we've been working on, multi-WAN, just like Chris says, yes. So we have the multi-WAN system with failover and all that stuff. And I call it multi-internet integration so people kind of get what we're talking about. But we have that right now. And so you can actually select, you know, disabled, balance, you want modem primary and all that stuff. And again, this stuff is brand new. This stuff is we've been testing on the road, and it works quite well. But we're going to tell people who want to get into this stuff that it's going to be beta for a little while. We're going to run this for a little while, but it has real good promise. But this is one of the things that I really was excited about sharing with people, and I thought the best way to do it would be on a live stream so you guys can have some questions to answer on there. Multi-WAN 2D antenna or the same antenna. So actually, I turned it on so that you could use both the 5G or the 4G. So we're gonna put together like a kit. So if somebody wants to add like another modem, and they're cool with adding like a 4G, we're gonna put together a kit that's like the 4G with another wire with the splitter device, and just package it up as one neat little kit so you can add a whole nother modem to it. All right. Do we need to buy another modem? So yeah. But my plan is to try to put one together that doesn't cost as much. So the 5Gs are expensive, right? So those little chips that Natalie puts in there. Oh, I never did get to her stand. I'll get to her stand. But those 5G chips that she puts in there are expensive. And so what my thought was, if we can pull this off with a 4G modem too, that would be pretty sweet. So have the 5G and the 4G working together. I think it'd be pretty nice. All right, so do you have how fast to failover switch sims in the new update. Basically, it takes about 30 seconds to figure out whether you have internet or not, roughly 20 to 30 seconds. And then once it figures that out, switches it, and I think it takes about another 20 seconds to switch the sim. It tries to do it as fast as it can. And if it's switching from like similars like Verizon to AT&T, it's quite a bit faster than if it's switching from AT&T to like T-Mobile. T-Mobile runs their stuff a little bit differently, that it takes a little bit of time to switch the SIM. I don't know if people have noticed that or not, but yeah, that's kind of a thing that they do. Reed says, I'm up and running 2 weeks at 10 times my old speeds. If I download the new firmware, what is the setup that I have to do? Okay, so Reed, when you first bought it, we printed out that sheet that you just ran through those few things. It's those same setups, right? So it's just the setting up your Wi-Fi name, the password. That's basically it, because the new firmware will try to read your SIM and figure out what it is. So if it's like Verizon or AT&T or anything like that. Can you pack my order now? Did you send one in?
Yep.
Did he? All right, print it out. See what we got. We'll say hi to him. Identity. Oh, yeah, I can't say anything about that. Sorry. All right, let me show you. If you still have questions, let me know. What happened to speed test? Oh, yeah, sorry. Tim, I took it out, right? So there was a couple things with the speed test. That speed test is a widget from the speedtest.net people. And for some people, it would show, and some people it wouldn't. But don't worry, I put it back. I put it back in as a system update. So just know, people, that the one that you have on your phone can get GPS from your phone. So it's more consistent, I guess, because it can see your actual location. Whereas the one in the web page, it can't read your GPS. So that's why it says something like from a little farther away. All right. T-Mobile plans uncapped, no bandwidth limits. I will talk more about the T-Mobile plans when we come. We're working with them to try to get some more plans. All right, so we'll talk more about that. Assuming the different WAN modules. If you need to leave a message on the help page, go to InstyConnect help and then contact us and just send us in a message. If you ordered one, use your email that you used to order. That way we know exactly like what you ordered. Okay. All right. As you guys keep sending in questions, we will answer them in just a second. Can InstyConnect work in Ukraine? So in Ukraine, my thing is that they're probably getting hammered as far as like their cell towers. So the Starlink thing there is that they have satellites where the Russians can't get to them. Not yet, anyway. And so that's why that's working there. I would guess their infrastructure in Ukraine is probably suffering. So I would probably say it's not a good thing to try, right? How much faster are the Cloud Wings? Phil, thanks for the question. Is the reception better? So the Cloud Wings, the reception is pretty much the same, but the upload speed is a little bit better. Okay, so that's what we found in our tests. So basically, the move from the Angel Wings to the Cloud Wings was to give it. There were some people that said, I don't like to have the wire exposed, so we wanted to put like a little cover on it. And so by changing, just making it a little bit more round, it helped with upload speeds more. Download speeds pretty much stayed the same. Yeah, so Fred says, Fred late for supper. Yeah, right? I don't like being late for supper either. He says provider switched to capped AT&T. So that stuff's going to happen, right? So my whole thing, when we started this, I wanted to create equipment that was really good to get connected. And we have to match the equipment up with the provider, unfortunately. Unless somebody, sends us lots of money, we could start our own provider like Nick Risen, where we can make some pretty high data caps and stuff. We're stuck with the ones that we have, but we're working with them to try to get some decent plans for people that make it easy to happen, right? I keep getting kicked off your help page. Sorry. You can also send an email to nick@instconnect.com if you have trouble. All right. Any chance we could get the 3D models to print the Cloud Wings? I'm guessing not. Chris, no. We're going to keep those. Basically, you have to print them right. They have to be printed right so that the water doesn't get in them. And so we worked hard to make them so they're watertight. Still wondering if I could purchase data service from you. Tom, not yet. Wait. This was an announcement. All right. Here's an announcement. Brand new. Are you guys ready? All right. So we were working with somebody, and we got some Verizon plans available to us. All right. So these are very similar to the other plans that we offered. These are 300 gigs a month. I believe these are a soft cap as well, but because they're on the Verizon network, and Verizon is a little bit, stingier with their network, the price on these is a little higher. So these are $159 a month for 300 gigs. We have a bunch of these. If people want to get on the Verizon network, we activate them for you, and we send them out. Right? We just got this yesterday. We just got the ability to get these plans. So I'm pretty excited about that because that would like round us out, right? So we got so right now what we have in stock is Verizon. Someone says, I want one? Just send us a message. I have to get these on the website, right? So we got to get these in a spot to get them out to people. But just send us in a message. Dennis, send in and say, I need one, and we'll get one out to you, okay? Have you ever thought of being a vendor? Jeff Shell. At the annual Overland Expos. We were at the Overland Expo West in Flagstaff. We had a great time. The only thing was, it was very last minute because somebody came and said, hey, you should get an Overlander. So we went to Overlander and they put us in like a building where everybody else was outside. So when people came and found us in the building, it was pretty fun. We had a great time, to be honest. So yes, I would love to do that again. Are you coming to the upcoming Quartzsite show? Yes, we are. We're going to be there. We just got our spot. We're trying to figure out what camper to bring. Yeah, so I'm excited, though. I love Quartzsite, and I know the boys do, too. NickNet is a winner. Go for it. All right, Fred, late for supper. Appreciate that. Why black wings and not white? Black is better for UV resistance, if you can believe it. I know it was kind of, I thought differently. I was like, that's kind of weird. I would think the white would be better, but black actually holds it, like blocks it better, so it doesn't seep into the plastic. That was something that one of my plastics friends told us. Want to buy one? Does it allow me to change the TTL? TTL values are changed. You can, might as well, in the current SIM profile. So if you're looking right here, you can go in per SIM that you have. So other systems out there, other routers, I think you have to set it on the router completely. But ours, we set it per SIM because I know people want to set it differently. So if you have like an AT&T SIM, you can set it to one. A T-Mobile, you can set it to different. So whenever you switch it, you don't have to go mess with the router at all. It'll apply your TTL settings automatically for you. Would love to see you at Overland Expo Rocky Mountain next August. Steve, I think I want to go there too.
Yeah, right.
We are, yeah. Yeah. I'm thinking if I can have like a whole bunch of plans like available to people, I definitely want to go there because I really like our system for overlanders. Right? It's easy. It's smaller. It picks up a signal just about everywhere. Yeah. Anyway, what filament is harder on a print head? We print PETG, and they're all pretty equal to the print head.
He said white.
White? Is it? They said white?
Yeah, he didn't say what.
As far as like color, oh yeah, I don't know what color it is. It's probably.
Somebody asked why it's black and not white or gray.
Yeah, I answered that already.
Yeah, that's what he said to it.
All right. What do we got? Where can I find out more about why I want to change the TTL settings? Dennis, basically, people a lot of times change the settings so their router could be, or the modem can be seen as something else. It's not really something that we talk about basically here, just because, we don't get into it quite too much, but it can, like some people are saying. So just check in the comments, right? So kind of. By the way, there is a Facebook group called the Insty Connect Owners Group, the ICOG, and those guys are. I'm not in it, and so I chose not to be in it because I at some point have to step away. I love to be involved in support, like with the device itself. So when people send in a message, I want to like help them as much as I can. But in the Insty Connect owners group, there's just a bunch of dudes in there, or not dudes, but a bunch of people in there that just share their experiences and where they go and all that stuff. So if you're on Facebook, look for Insty Connect owners group. There, yeah, a lot of cool stuff goes on in there, I think. Will the original 4G get Starlink support, or will the modem need to be? Yes, the original 4G, everything works as far as like multi-WAN stuff. The only thing that the 4G cannot take part of is like band, like the deep band scanning type of thing, because they just didn't have it in the modem. The modem on the 4G is quite a bit older than the 5G. That's why the price difference is so big. A lot of times when people call in and they say, well, should I get a 5G or should I get a 4G? Basically, what I tell them is that the 4G is along the lines of an iPhone 6 or 7. And the 5G is along the lines of like an iPhone 11 or 12. So there's a big gap in the age of the modem itself. So the 5G can do things that the 4G just can't do. And a lot of that is like band scanning, that type of stuff. But as far as multi-internet, they both can do it. Okay. All right, Todd, appreciate it. You said it made me place the order tonight. When will you see your kit? We'll be shipping them out Monday and Tuesday, right, of this week. Yeah. Chris, you're exactly pretty much right. I use US Cellular and Verizon. I found that their coverage is complementary. Yeah, been working remotely. So Verizon has always been the king of cell signal just about everywhere. Yeah, so they're good, right? But what I really like and what I've been telling people is that T-Mobile's 5G is phenomenal. It works. I mean, I have a 39 here, but that's just straight 5G with 4G. If I switched it to just straight up 5G, it'd be like better. But I'm way out in the country, right? And I get a 5G signal on T-Mobile with just the wings. So it's really cool. Chris says, correct me if I'm wrong, 5G hasn't, or yeah, the router hasn't changed. No, the capabilities are the same. But basically, Chris, the deal is that the router kind of drives the modem. And so the programming in it has programming for both a 4G and a 5G. So the router stays the same, but with both of them. Are the Angel Wings or Cloud Wings compatible with third-party routers like Peplink? No. Amanda asked this question. So like I just explained, that the router's like the brains for the modem. And so if you hook the modem up to a router, if they programmed it to have a modem via the USB system, then it may work. But like all of the stuff that you see, like the signal strength, tower locking, anything like that we have in our system just will not work. And so it's really up to those guys whether it will work. I haven't had anybody that actually said that it does work. We don't sell it piecemeal just because when we put this thing together this way so that it is like the best. That's really what I wanted. I took this thing on the road and I tried it out. I said, I want to lock to this. I want to lock to that. I want to find different towers. So that's the way we programmed it. So it won't, you can't match it up. Anyway. How many owners are there now? Todd Miller says how many. There's probably north of 1,600 or so out there ish. Yeah, roughly. There might be a little bit more, blah blah blah, but that's roughly what there are. There's probably a couple hundred in the group. But I haven't told many people about the InstyConnect owners group because I didn't know if they wanted me to just dump a bunch of people to it. But they said, "Oh yeah, the more the merrier." So they're out there, and they said they'd love to help if anybody has questions or something. They're getting to know it too, they're diving into it. But I'm always here as well if people have questions. Let's see. When you change providers and use the binoculars, do you need to reorient to buy binoculars in the direction of the tower? Yeah, that's a good question. So yes, basically you do. A lot of times, though, what I found is that the providers use similar towers or in the same area, so you don't have to really tweak them. But it is a possibility, and also could be like one tower in this direction could be faster than this one over here, and yeah, but you kind of get it. But yes, you should. I have Insty Pink. Can I tell how much data? We're working on that, right? So we're working on grabbing data from T-Mobile, AT&T, and putting it right in the dashboard so that you know. That's kind of my next plan, right? So my first plan was having the antennas that are solid, the system that's just really solid and firmware and everything that'll give us everything we want. And then my next plan now is to move into finding providers that will give us a good experience to where people don't have to mess around. It's unfortunate that there's so much messing around going on, but I want T-Mobile to come and say, look, we have our new 5G devices that we're selling everybody in their house. I say, well, let's hook it up to the InstyConnect and let's get people connected who aren't at their house, right? And so that's my plan. If anybody out there knows people high up at T-Mobile, AT&T, shoot them my way. I'd love to talk to them. I think we could have something that's pretty cool. U.S. Cellular is regional. Does it provide for national coverage? What I've heard is that U.S. Cellular has great roaming agreements. Now, I haven't tested this at all because they were in our old area that we lived in. So I should have bought one when we lived there, but they're not here in Tennessee. So what I've heard, though, is that they do allow roaming on some of the other networks. But what I've found is that usually when you're roaming, you don't get the speed that those people in that network get. So you take that with a grain of salt. You should be able to roam everywhere, but who knows what your speeds are going to be. What is the best way to find towers? I'll get an internet, or I will get a video out to you guys on that. I call it the deep scan method. If you want just a quick how to do it, basically you turn the binoculars and you go to band scan, tower band, and lock wizard, and you do a tower band scan, boop, and that will show you the bands that are on that tower, and then you look and see what the like the signal strength is of them and what the quality is, and then you can lock in and try it, and then you can fine tune it if you're locked in on one. But that's basically it. Turn it about 45 degrees, tower band scan, watch what comes up. Sometimes if you're pointing in a spot where there's no towers, nothing will come up, and in other times you might hit a bunch, and you could try some of those. That's what I call the deep scan. So, but I will have a video on that coming out. Cloud-wing difference worse versus the 5G looks cool. Can you upgrade just the wing to the cloud? Yes, we did a cloud wings. By the way, there's a lot of like questions out there. If you guys, if you know us like through the YouTube channels or anything, if you go to the InstyConnect page and you sign up, there's a button on the top that says click here for more info. That's to the email list. And I tend to send out messages to that, even some like video messages that lets people know what we're working on in the shop. And then like a lot of that stuff, if we do like a new redesign, I try to make it easy so that we can like swap them out. And so people can be just getting the new thing without having to buy the whole new system. So if you're not on that list, check out that list, get on it. Just to let you know too, if you're on that list though, and you already have one, you might get a sales email every now and then, just because that's how we send it out. All right. Anyway, so I held off on the 5G swap when you released because the replacement didn't have Cat 20. Okay. No. Phil says, are your 5G still max at Cat 12? No, they're 16. Basically, in this, if you guys remember when we did the 5G, the ones that I bought were only single SIM, and so then I got the new ones were dual SIMs. They're category 16. Basically, the difference between is one can do 7 times carrier aggregation and the other one can do 5. But really, in the United States, I don't know of any tower that has more than 5 bands of LTE anyway. So they're just about the same. So we don't sell any of the single SIMs anymore. All the dual SIMs are category 16, but they are like the latest. It's actually newer than the 20. It's a long story. If you really want to know it, just send me a message and I'll let you know. But yeah, I don't want to get too geeky into it just because basically what happens when you're on 5G, you use a little bit of 4G and then 5G. So then you don't need all the categories anymore. All right. Is there anything in the shop, anything of the kids that you guys want to ask? If so, they're about ready to go to bed. It's 8:30. I will answer any more questions that you guys want to ask. Eric says, I haven't found more than 3. Yeah, I've only seen 5 like a couple times. A lot of times now when they get to 5 bands, they're like, that's too many. Let's replace one of the bands with a 5G. And then they do like 2 and then a 5G band. Nat Bench.
Yeah, you didn't show him.
What does that mean?
Oh,
Natalie's Bench. Okay, well, hold on. Whoop. Let's get back to the Sonya. All right, Jen is in. Okay, can you guys hear me? Okay, so they wanted to know about Natalie. So here, this last station is one I forgot, is she does the modems, okay? So she's been working on the 5G modems. Now, here's the little card that I was talking about. See this thing? Like how small it is, right? But it's expensive. But the really kicker is, you see those little things right there? Those are the antenna ports. And that's what she's got to snap these things on, right? When I first got these, I was doing these by myself, and I was like, oh man, I might be too shaky for this, right? But she comes in here, she's got like just the right touch, and she can pop these on here like boop, 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 and she's like done. But oh yeah, here's the wire too. Look at this, it's so small. Like it just hardly fits on there, and you got to get that right. And if you don't get it right, then it doesn't work. But that's basically why we test these things before they go out, to make sure that Natalie's getting them all right. So she puts, these are the little boxes that we print, the 3D printers, and she puts them in here, puts all the antennas on them like this, and gets them going. She plugs them in to test them, and if they're good, a label comes out whoop, from there, and that means it's passed the test. All right, now, what is the hardest part of this, you think?
Probably putting these.
Putting the wires on.
The modem.
All right.
They're just so small. It's hard to get them on there.
But she's really good at it, right? So there's only been a few people that have ever put these together. Nat's put together more than anybody. Had a friend do it too. If you're watching, thank you so much for your help. That was a long time ago, but it was fun. And then then one other person. But that's it. So it's so finicky that you need to be right on it. So that's about it. Thank you, Nat.
Yeah.
She works hard. They really do.
We got a couple more questions.
Got a couple more questions.
Ask
All
the
right.
kids what their favorite Bible verse is.
Ask your kids what their favorite Bible verse is. Think about it. They'll think about it.
Gotta
My
think
favorite
about it.
Bible verse is. Oh, she's looking at her Bible. She's looking for a good one.
All right, let's see. She's a star. Tell her Lori thinks so. All right, Lori says you're a star.
Thanks. Thank you.
All right. Lojo is too cute. Is that her nickname? Or, okay, Lojo is short for Lauren Jolin. Okay, so Lojo. That's her auntie gave her that nickname, I believe. Right? It was when she was brand new. She was like, how's Lojo doing? And I was like, oh, that's a great nickname for her. And it just stuck.
I hear she has a BMW.
I hear she has a Lojo does not have a BMW? No.
No,
she
she's
doesn't.
talking about Jenna.
Oh, no.
No, she
And
doesn't.
that is talking about.
That's not even Natalie's car either.
All right. We love you. Great product. Beautiful. Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate it. Thank you. Here, let me sit down. I'm going to sit back down.
Chair stealer.
Just want to say thank you guys for coming out to the live stream too. This has been fun. It went not like I expected, because I expected it to go like off without a hitch. Because I thought YouTube was pretty big, right? They could handle like a live stream of a few people.
Well, there's 100.
Does the modem get hot in that case? So can you on the webcam? Is Sonia back? All right, so the webcam froze. At least we're good at making modems, right? Does the modem get hot? Mark, we've tested it in a lot of different environments. We've tested it in like Arizona. We've been, and actually I tested it in an oven to try to recreate like 200-degree heat. And so in all of our testing, we have found that it works quite well, even in the heat. Where can I tell the documentation on the Starlink features? It's coming. Old red Suburban, it's coming. We want to make sure it's all there and it's all set, right? So it'll be out there. Speedify Raspberry versus InstyConnect. What brand extendable masks do you use on the trailers? That's a good question. So there's a company called Flagpole Buddy, and it's a guy that I met when we were out on the road at a FMCA rally, I believe. Yes. And so he got to talking to me because he does a lot of 3D printing of like different mounts for his flagpoles. And so what I did a video about how to mount it on the side of a camper, and he's got these suction cups. Nat, can you grab those suction cups in that box right there, please? They are super cool. Right there. This one, a little bit closer. Right there. Yep. And if your camper, or if you use it on a camper, is flat, they stick right to it, right? And then you put the thing in there, and he's got, he makes a 3D printed mount for our stuff. So Flagpole Buddy, yeah, check him out. I would say his is the best. Otherwise, like a normal flagpole, you can strap it to, and you can get one at like Harbor Freight. And I have one like over there. The thing with the Harbor Freight one is that if it rains, then sometimes it won't come back, or you'll get it to come back down, but then it won't extend. So they're iffy. I've had like 3-month, window on it, and I've replaced one a couple times on that window. So you kind of get what you pay for with that, unfortunately. Can you use Wi-Fi TravelMate for Starlink since it's paying to connect? Yes, you can. So Wi-Fi TravelMate is one of the options for multi-WAN. If you link it up, basically we have the documentation coming. You want this? Oh. Yeah, Dennis says Flagpole Buddy's great. They're great to work with. They were busy this summer with stuff, but they got our stuff back online, so they're all ready. What's the difference between the binoculars and the wings? Directional or not? Yeah, Mark, it's pretty much directional. Like the wings are great for 95% of the places that you go because they're omnidirectional. But when you get to this place where you're out there and it's like really hard, the binoculars will pick up what I say a whisper of a signal. If it's there, it'll get it. And yeah. So what I tell people is that I know like the binoculars are they're a little bit bigger, but if you want a piece of kit, I guess the British people say, that will get you connected just about everywhere, that's like to have it in your kit. That's the way to go. We went on the road, and I'm just putting these videos out there to find places in the country, and we basically went out west to places where people said, I have no signal there, and we went to each one of those places and to put the thing together, and a lot of times we couldn't get our Starlink to link up because there's too many trees or something, but we had a connection all the time on the Insty Connect everywhere we went. I tried to find a connection or the Insty Connect mount on Flagpole Buddy about a month ago. It wasn't there. Yeah, so they emailed them. They said they ran into the Starlink thing, right? So when Starlink came out, they got blasted by everybody wanting to get a connector for their flagpole because you have to put the Starlink up over a tree in order to make it work. So they got blasted by that. And so it was just one of those things that that once they finally got caught up, then they put our stuff back on there. I don't know if they have 16 3D printers. I reached out to him and said, yeah, she does that all the time. She's something. Anyway, they have them back now. He sent me a message. Insty Connect or Speedify? Oh, like, are you talking for VPN? Our VPN is not going to be as fast as Speedify. I will tell you that right off the bat. We made our VPN to be easy. So it's a server out there, one of my hosting servers, and so that we hooked up a VPN through. One of the reasons why I use that is because it's not very known to people. So some people want to like watch stuff, and if some things know that it's a VPN, then it won't work. But a lot of like the people don't know our VPN, so you can kind of do things that. Anyway, I'll leave it at that. Okay. Future CEO of Insty Connect is video bombing you, right? She just now you guys wonder why she's like all over our videos, like in the background and doing all kinds of stuff, just because she's always there. She's not afraid of the camera.
No.
That's for sure.
I was.
Let's see. Any other questions? Scroll back and read mine. Oh, okay. I don't know what that means. Etsy doesn't like a VPN. Okay. Oh, got it. Sure. Eric, do you know if they know ours? question. All right. Is there anything else you guys want to know? Anything else that I can answer for you guys? Eric says, I'm not sure. You and your team rock. Thank you. Thank you, E-Hiker. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. I mean, you guys are the reason why this has been so fun, right? From the beginning, the people that took a chance on us when we were, doing stuff like just going out there and, trying to find signals on the top of a camper, just trying to build something that was easy for people. You guys rock, right? You guys took a chance on us and we really appreciate it. Are you going to make Insty Wireless? No, we don't need to. Just because the length between the router and the modem, as long as we make it so that the antenna was really good, we pick up a signal and it just works. The only time I did it, was at that place, and that, like I mentioned up there, that was in Custer State Park, Center Lake, and we actually went back there this summer and we had a connection with InstyConnect. Didn't even have to bring it up the mountain. It was good, right? So like I said, that whisper of a signal worked. If I upgrade to 5G, do I have to use a different USB cable? Yes. So the 5G is a USB-C type. We do send you out one if you do upgrade, so that's cool. But yeah, if you linked the if you like put your USB cable like into the like glued it in or something, you have to take it out. You could, somebody has done, just take the USB end on the end and then put a small USB-C cable to the modem, and that has worked. So you can do that. Is there $200 off the 4G? No, we've essentially sunset the 4G as far as like our main system. So we stopped selling it a few weeks back. Basically, I was having trouble getting the chips for that one specifically, not necessarily the modems, but one of the other chips that we used. And so it was easier for us just to sunset it and move forward with 5G. But we do have plans with 4G with like the secondary modem type stuff. So I think that would, we'll keep you up on news on that. Have 4G. Are you going to bring 5G modems to Quartzsite people who want to purchase upgrade? Gary, yes. That's when we went to, we'll be taking 5Gs to Quartzsite. And so we'll have a whole bunch of those. And if you want to do the upgrade, we can definitely do it there. Flagstaff has bad internet on Verizon at Overland. Tried to find you. You were gone. What speeds were you getting? We were running an AT&T in the building. We had over 100, right? Over at the place where we parked, we were camping inside the Overlander thing. We had 60, if I can remember. It was, we didn't struggle, it worked. Any plans to change the router, or is the current one still rocking? The current one is still rocking, but hold on a second. So we were working on it, right? So the router, so from the start, my idea was that I wanted to create this as a modular system, right? So I wanted to put one together so that we can upgrade this easily, because like Wi-Fi doesn't go out of style as fast as the modems do, right? So yes, ours is Wi-Fi 5, but like the fastest speeds you get on Wi-Fi 5 is like around a gig, right, of speed. And so when you hook it up to an LTE modem, you'll hardly ever see a gig of speed. So Wi-Fi 5 is good in my experience for a while, right? The only thing that might be a little bit different is that you might get some distance out of Wi-Fi 6. So I said, I'm not going to try to just keep going and going and going and going when Wi-Fi 5 is going to work great. But then I do know Wi-Fi 6 is out there, so we're going to be testing stuff, and we got to put our firmware on it and get it all rocking and everything. But when we do get to the point where we have a new router, I want to let people know, hey, we got a new router, and we can upgrade the old one, right? Instead of having to take and get a whole new system, we can just swap out the router. So we'll go for that. We use 2-year 5Gs. Which one? I suffer from lousy hotspot speed at Quartzsite. Why should I consider? Here's the thing, bet on truth. Here's the thing with Quartzsite, okay? Everybody suffers with lousy internet even those who will be at Starlink, because it's so overloaded. So the whole thing is when you're there, they have like a set amount of towers going on. They even try to put in new towers to try to help with congestion, but there's just too many people, and the backbone that they have coming in there is not good enough. So everybody kind of suffers there. We had a decent connection with the InstyConnect and the AT&T plan that we had. So it's just touch and go, but it's a hard thing. Your priority on the plan is going to matter. Okay, if you have like a prepaid plan or something, you're going to be way below everybody there. So try to step above them in priority, like a business level plan or something. Those help a lot. What dates are you going to be in Quartzsite? Dwight, we will probably, just like last year, head to Quartzsite early, be there, and then at the very end of the show, we're out, right? So we were there, I believe, a week early for Quartzsite. We'll probably do that again. We usually like camp out there somewhere and, kind of get the lay of the land and kind of hang out, find that Chinese spot again and get some food. Lojo's going to push you out of the way. I know, right? Isn't it your bedtime? Come here.
No.
Your bedtime yet?
I'm not
she's
tired.
loving this, by the way. How many devices can be hooked up to the router again? Starlink, WeBoost. Amanda, there can be four total internet devices. Okay, so two of them can be a modem, and then you can have one via the WAN port, and then you can have a travel mate, which is like a Wi-Fi setup. Okay. Is Verizon supporting Insty devices? Here's the thing with Verizon. Okay, so here's kind of the thing overall when you go to the stores of any of the major providers, they only like to talk in the language that they know, especially post-COVID, right? It seems like whoever's working there, they have a box and they stay in it and they don't get out, right? So if you buy a device that they know, boom, you're good. But if you buy a device that's outside that box, they have no idea what it is. They don't want to help, right? And that's the thing when they say, we do not support this. That's their thing. They don't want to be on the hook supporting a device they don't know. So when you go to Verizon, unfortunately, they will say this is not a supported device, but the modem that we use is approved. And we're just trying to get on their list. We have to jump through all of these hoops. So here's my plan, right? So we started jumping through their hoops with the 4G, and we haven't gotten through their hoops all fully yet. They want me to get all kinds of insurance and all that stuff, which is fine. But then we're going to jump through the hoops with the 5G moving forward, so we can get on their list. But if you've been there, you know that some people can hook you up and get you going. And it's that simple. They have the abilities. It's just, you got to find somebody that's willing to go outside the box. We had good speeds with Quartzsite with binoculars. So the thing with binoculars is that you can typically point away from whatever everyone is using. So that's a thing, right? And I did a video about that on our channel as well, how to find some pointing away from Quartzsite seemed to help. Do I have plans to be at Tampa? So here's the thing. They put it at the same time as Quartzsite. So I'm closer to Tampa, but I love Quartzsite. So we're doing Quartzsite again this year. I used the unlocked iPad to sign up and activate the SIM card. Then I put in Insty. Worked great. So yeah, Chris, that device is in their wheelhouse. So it's like they activate it and then you stick it in, and it's no problem because it's an approved device. Can the 4G binoculars use with the 5G configuration? So RV wagon tails, in a way they can. And that's when we first started selling them, we didn't have the 4 antennas, but the binoculars themselves for 5G have 4 antennas on them. So Nathan, could you grab one of those? I'll bring you one.
With this work?
Yeah, this one works.
It's also got the flagpole body.
Yeah. No, it doesn't actually. So this is the 5G binoculars right here, right? So notice the 1, 2, 3, 4 that are going on. That's why the 5G binoculars is the best antenna I've ever used. This is the one that we've used at Center Lake in Custer State Park, where we got 5G, where like we went there a couple years ago and there was nothing, right? So this one is super, super sensitive. And I think it's just basically because there's 4 antennas all listening. And so you'll notice that 2 are bigger than the top. That is because the bottom are looking for a little bit different frequencies and the top are looking for a little higher frequencies. And so when they all work together like this, it's just It's really good. So I would, if you have a 5G, I would recommend using the 4 antennas, but we have put together like if you can try the 2 antennas on 2 different antenna ports on the 5G, and you can get some signal. When we were in Big Bend, that's what we used, and it did work. So you'll just have to try moving them on the different antenna ports. Can you, let's see, can I chat with someone tomorrow so I can order with the discount? Yeah, Terry, definitely. Just send us a message via the help desk. Also, too, if you have problems sending a message via the help desk, just send it to Nick at InstyConnect, and I will try to reach out. No, it's tomorrow's Sunday, so Monday. So I will reach out with you on Monday. Can I upgrade my 4G binoculars? Yes. We send us a message as well. There's a spot in the system where you can go and upgrade, but if you have any questions or something, just send us a message. We can do, like, because you already have on your 4G, you have these 2. These are the same. These ones you don't have, so we send you out the back plate and then these longer ones, and then you're good to go. Phil sent in a ticket about swapping your 5G. Sounds good, Phil. Thanks, man. Just joined. Sorry for being so late. Ronald, hey, glad to have you here. I'm having such success with AT&T SIM over Verizon and T-Mobile all over the West. So my combo that I really like is AT&T and T-Mobile. They work really well together. But I do know that Verizon is like up there too with AT&T. But I do know what Ronald's talking about as far as those 2. I like those. Sorry, just what's that? Thanks for a great session. Thanks, Reed. Reed, appreciate it. Again, sorry for all the trouble at first. It just doesn't matter how much you practice for something. You just are like, oh, you're 8 minutes in and you can't get it to connect. Anyway, sorry. Thanks, Nick. Are the 5G binoculars available? Yeah, we have them available. They're $100 off right now. If you have any trouble, head over to the website. Nick or Nick, NIC or NICK? NICK. Yeah, if you have any, again, if you guys have any trouble like ordering anything, just send us in a message. I know like some of the upgrade stuff, we have you log in to the client area so that we know what you have. And then when you're in there, we know your previous order so that we show you the stuff that like you can upgrade to. And so as long as you use the email that you used when you ordered, you should be able to just log in and then to find like some of the upgrades that we have there. Yeah. When will NickNet be available as a wireless provider? I don't know, man. I don't know. I hear Dish Network is doing something too. I haven't talked to them yet. Anything to do before the flash upgrade? Is it like new or reset it? Anything to do? Yeah, no. When you download it, you just need to have an internet connection when you click the firmware update, and then it'll download. It'll take a few minutes, but then when you start to go through it, it'll like shut itself down for a few minutes, and then it'll come back up, and then the Insty Connect setup network will be there. And then you connect to it, and you do the steps just like you did when it's new. You should be good. Where you have reached the point in growth where it's time to hire outside the kids too. 48 employees here. Chris, I know what you're saying, man. We're teetering on that, right? So there's a lot of things, like we never did any advertising. The first time we ever ran some ad was last week with the Black Friday stuff, and I ran YouTube ads and stuff, and it was really cool. I loved being able to put those out there. Having all of these video clips that we've had just by documenting this thing has made it a lot of fun too, to make ads out of them too. And so just by doing that for like a little bit, I see the potential of where we can get with this thing. And yeah, it's on my mind for sure. I know it's there. I know these kids are cool to work with. It's just a fun portion of life, right? And I'm glad that they're here, but we're ready for the move forward. I really do want to talk to someone about plans, though, just figure that out, because that's everybody's struggling with that, and so if we can figure that out, that'd make it a lot simpler. Anything else, Nat? What do you think? Nick, T-Mobile's killing it in Michigan. Yeah, I know, right? It's like, so my thought is that Verizon had been like the king for a long time, and they kind of rested on their laurels, I think. they didn't work as hard to upgrade their backbone. So when you get to places, Verizon might be a little bit, congested, whereas T-Mobile has just went out there, hit the road on the 5G, and they're really doing it well. Upgrade path, again, for the 4G Angel Wings. eHiker, if you ordered with us, go to the website and click on the client login, use your email, and then when you're in there, like I said, we know what you ordered before, and so if you click on like add-ons in the corner, and then it says some add-ons, it'll show you like upgrade path. Again, if you have any trouble with that, just send us a message, and we can send you the link, or we can make an invoice for you. We'll try to make it easy. Dean, want to thank you for all the personal help you've given me. Hey, I don't know if you've noticed this or not, but this stuff I love, right? I love doing this stuff. And I like working with people. I like doing videos and like talking with people. One of the funnest things that I like about this whole thing is meeting people at like Quartzsite and on the road, at different campsites and all that stuff. But so, yeah, I'm glad to do it. Dean, I'm glad that you're that we got it all figured out and set up and everything. So thanks so much. Also, speaking of 48 employees, Chris Bear, if anybody knows anybody out there who would be interested in helping with support, support is hugely important for me. That's like one of the top things that I think it's important for somebody, because there's been things where we could have tried to make it a little easier to set up. We try our best, but we try our best to respond to things and to make sure people are taken care of. If anybody knows anybody out there who's like looking for something to do, and they know InstyConnect and they could be pretty awesome at it, let me know. I'd love to be able to kind of put that in someone's hands and allow us to really kind of move forward and growing too. So. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. How long are we on? 1 hour and 16 minutes. Wow. So we'll take any more questions that you might have. Otherwise, we can just wrap it up. Again, thank you guys for coming out. Sorry for all the trouble at first. I'm glad we got it figured out. If we ever do this again, I don't know what else I would change. I thought I did everything right. I mean, I read all the stuff. Schedule it. It just didn't want to. Customer service support. We're looking for, someone that would be awesome at support, like that would take it and want to do it really well, like I would do it, right? Quick recap for those. Danny, quick recap. Okay. Man, there was a lot of stuff. So Danny, let me know what you want to know as far as, quick recap, like as far as like updates and stuff, because I sent out an email that says a lot of info about the updates. There's a big update in the system. If you own the system right now, there's a big firmware update out there. It's the stuff that we've been working on all summer long. It has multi-internet. It has multi-modem. Be on the watch for us, as we'll be sending out more notices, more videos and stuff in the next couple weeks. So we're hitting the road again, just kind of like a little vacation going to Florida, but then we're coming back. And after that, we'll be hitting the road running with like dual modem stuff. I want to set up kits. I want to set up 4G kits that we can put together if people want to do dual modem, and all that kind of stuff. So just kind of keep an eye on the email list. So if you're not on it, head to InstyConnect. It's that button right at the top. Click here for more info. Just pop in your name and email. For whatever reason, email services don't really like Yahoo addresses. It's like the messages don't get to you for like an extra day. So if you haven't Yahoo, don't use that one. Use a different one, and you tend to get the messages quicker. Thanks again. Thank you, Jim. Thank you so much for coming out. Really appreciate it. Reed says you can go back and watch the video. It's a long one. Appreciate it. Even when you've done hundreds of live streams, you have stuff random and go wonky. Yeah, I know. I have no idea. Like, I practiced. I made a whole different one that was scheduled, and I went into it, and it came right on. But this time, I turned this one on, and it said, what did it say, Nat? Live stream is not available.
No, it was like
something weird.
Like,
It said
I know,
YouTube is not getting your data stream.
No, I know.
Why not?
Live stream is failing.
It's failing.
Live is failing.
It's failing. Can the 5G dual cards run in sync? The 5G, the dual SIM, no, they can't run in sync. The 5G, so what you need to run in sync is 2 modems. Okay, so you can have 2 modems, 1 SIM card each. They can run in sync. 1 modem can only handle 1 SIM at a time, so it'll switch between the others, right? That's how that works. Praise the family efforts and involvement. Beautiful thing to watch. Catman Driver, you all rock. Hey, thank you so much. Thank you for spreading the word. All of you guys, too. I hear it all the time. People are like, this guy or this gal came up to me and they were talking about your system and they just raved on it. Guys, thank you so much for that, too. We so appreciate it. It's really, yeah, really do appreciate it. Are the Verizon cards you just got capped at max speed? That's a good question. I will let you know. I should have known that. I don't believe so, but I will check on that. Okay. Yeah. What is the power draw? Good question, Michael. It's under an amp at 12 volts. So right around, depending on where you're at with your signal. If you're closer to a tower that's less power draw. If you're farther away, the maximum, I've never really seen it over 1.5 amps. So right around an amp, I would say is pretty, you can pretty much bank on that. So yeah, 12 volts or less. All right, you guys, if any other, Tater, is there $100 off the 5G Bino? Yes, there is. If you just send a message into me. It's been a long hour.
Hour 20 minutes, actually.
What would make my internet fast with 2 modems in sync? Brandon, what would make it faster with 2 modems? It won't make it faster, right? It won't make your total speed faster. What it does is it can split your connections up between 2, okay? So hold on. Be careful. So if you're doing like a couple things, or if you have multiple people surfing, 2 modems will allow you to have more bandwidth, okay, but not more speed, if that makes any sense. So if you want, I should do a video about that. Let me know if I should do a video. POE, Todd Miller. It's always on my mind. I'm not going to lie. It is, but the guts of it's harder to come by. So there's a lot of 100 meg PoE stuff that we could have made in. I want to have it means new router, that's for sure, but I want to have like gigabit PoE. It's all stuff that's in my mind, and I was really, to be honest, guys, I thought I was going to be in this until Starlink came out, and then I thought Starlink was going to be it, but it didn't turn out that way. It turned out that they have limitations too, and the trees are huge. But now at the same time, right, guys? I mean, this is the way it goes. But at the same time, it's kind of cool because now there's more competition, right? So the providers can't just sit on their laurels all day. They got to upgrade their stuff, and they got to run together. So I think at some point they're going to be matching what he can do, and then so cellular will be pretty awesome. Good night, RV Wagon Tails. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate it. Thanks again for coming out. This was great. Thank you for coming out. We'll maybe do one of these again. I don't know. We'll see. We'll have to do more practice. Can I get an extra 30-foot cable to use when we're not traveling? I don't see that option. Eric, yes, there's an accessories thing that you can go in there and order pretty much whatever you want. There's a whole bunch of stuff. There's a 30-foot 5G cable. As I'm thinking you're talking about 5G, right? Yeah, bedtime for some, for sure. Yes. Yeah, but if you can't find it or anything, just send me a message. I say I need a 30-foot cable, and we'll get one for you. Yeah, what time is it? 9 o'clock is bedtime for you guys. Live stream once a quarter. All right, we'll try it. I got it all set up. Check this out, right? Check this out. We got the cameras all set up, got the webcam thing, and everything was working like perfect. I know you guys heard it. Until it didn't. You guys heard it. Let's see. 4 times a year. We should. Oh, thanks, Michael. Appreciate it. Should we do like a live stream from courtside or something? I think that'd be kind of fun. That would be kind of fun. The boys. They love courtside too. Who was at court? If anybody's still on, how many people are still here? Do we know?
92.
Really? Where do you see that?
Right there. That top corner.
If any, are you live streaming over InstyConnect? In a way. in a way. We're live streaming over an InstyConnect router, which we have a fiber line here, basically because we do, right? And so we do have an InstyConnect hooked up. It's just that one's on for testing. So are we do a live stream on location over Insty? Yeah, we'll do that. All right, we'll try it. We'll figure that out, right? This was fun. I do like this. Yeah, we'll try it. Stay tuned. I will send out an email to the list if we ever do a live stream again. Still here, Tom. Okay, anybody gone to Quartzsite that is on the way to Quartzsite again this year? If so, shoot in the comments. Love to hear that. No better way to demonstrate amazing internet at Quartzsite than doing a live stream. All right, Chris, we're going to try it. Gary, yes, I was at last year. So at Quartzsite last year, we were on these scooters and we were driving them all around. That was one of the funnest things the boys and I did. Most fun.
You said that twice, Dad.
Did I?
Yeah, we were watching inside the house.
They're January all month. Yeah, we were almost there for all of January. You're watching from in the house?
Yeah, we were watching from in the house.
Yeah, Gary, it was fun. We went. So are any of the guys here on the live stream that were at Quartzsite that were a part of that big truck group? You know, the ones that pull the horn every night at sunset, most funnerest. We drove out there, and at sunset, we didn't even know this. We pull out there, and the big group of semi trucks with their fifth wheels and everything, and all of a sudden, honk, and we're like, "What in the world is that?" And they're like, "Every night at sunset, we pull our little things and honk."
And they are so loud.
Yeah, they're really loud. You're in Quartzsite now, Northwest Travelers. That's cool. How's your internet right now? Pembroke, it's at the top of the page, InstyConnect, InstyConnect.com. There's a button. Just click on that, and you get added to the email list. Does the 5G come with the USB A to C cable? Yes, it does. The 5G upgrade does. Because all the 4Gs were USB A, so the bigger connection. I don't have one on me. But USB C is the new connection on the 5G, so we send out a cable with those, okay? Ronald, thank you. He says you are the best of dealing with the customers. Thank you. Appreciate that. I cannot get my message through to you. Okay. You have a beginner. Okay. Ronald, if you have any trouble, Nick at InstyConnect, just send me a message, okay? Chris says USB-C is more better. I know, right? It really is. Best place to sell your system is at campgrounds where the Wi-Fi antenna is located, as people can't get a signal. Yeah. I agree. When you come to Florida, visit Colt Creek. Signal there stinks. Colt Creek. All right, remember that.
Yep. Challenge
Colt
accepted.
Creek. Challenge accepted. All right. Dumb old fool. Do you have a beginner video for people who are computer technology challenged? If you go to YouTube, type InstyConnect, the 2 words, our channel should come up right at the top. Click on that. There's a video of me holding one of those things like up to the camera like this. That is our setup video. I tried to make it as easy as I could think of. The new firmware that we have makes it a little easier because there's a step in there where I say you have to select what provider you're using, like Verizon, any of those. And the new firmware will read your SIM and figure out what it is and apply the right one. HTD trucker. Okay, yes, HT, heavy duty truck group. Yes, those guys right there. You guys are super fun, right? They took us on like a tour of their rigs and stuff, and that was really fun. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, maybe we should go.
Maybe we should go. All right, yes. All right, I think we're gonna wrap it up. Again, thank you guys. Sent your order for the 5G. Thanks, Jim. Didn't know if I needed a longer cable. Could have used the extension that I already have. Yeah, I'll check out your order, okay? And we'll let you know. All right, I'm getting 149 down and 73 up. Woo! Nice. That's good. Redo the setup video and have it done entirely by those functions you have. That's a good idea. That was one of my ideas, actually, to have. I was going to say if...
It was actually Nathan's idea.
If Nathan can put it together, Anyway, thanks, Jeffrey. Good night. Thank you, guys. Thank you for coming. Ronald, I sold several of your systems. I bring people back to my RV and show them how great your system. Thank you, Art. Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much, Ronald. Appreciate it. I gotta meet you some. I love being on the road, right? To meet all these people, and I want to meet you someday, Ronald. Now I'm dry. E-hiker, thank you. Todd, thank you guys so much. Yeah.
This went for an hour longer than we thought it would.
Yeah, Jim, if I didn't answer your question, if you already have an extension, it should probably work, but let me know if you need any help. Thanks, Brandon.
Ow!
Yeah, it went long. Sorry. I had a whole plan, really, but my plan just went right out the window when everything went. Ron Jolin, bye. Your name sounds familiar. Bye. See you later.
Bye.
See you in Quartzsite, Michael. Yes. Todd, thanks again for ordering. We'll get it out to you next week. Early next week. Mark Payne, 52 down and 12 up in rural mountains of West Virginia. Sweet. That's nice. That's good.
West Virginia.
Thank you, Mark. All right. Thank you guys for coming. All right. What do you think, guys? Anything else you guys want to say?
Bye.
Thanks. Say thanks for coming out.
Thanks for coming out.
Thanks for
and
coming
I
out.
love you.
Thanks, Jordan. Appreciate it. All right,
Can't wait
you guys
to see you on
have a good
Quartzsite.
night. Yeah, we'll see you guys in Quartzsite. Who will be there? And yeah,
I won't.
talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.
I won't. Ouch. Dad.
Well, a good stream.
Wow.